So this is the Disc with Miss Chris, my first interview. It happens to be with my cousin. Welcome to my channel. We are going to be listing things that we don't feel like are good for our culture or actually harm our culture. Things that we need to bring awareness to. And so I'm here something that everyone will be able to get some information and enjoy and be life changing. So today I have the pleasure of having my cousin here, who is Mr. Richard Williams, the Shark Preventative Specialist at JBSA Fort Hood, Sam Houston. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, Chris. How are you?
Good. You look great. You look great, by the way.
Thank you. Hey, this is what 60 looks like.
Yes. Not only 60, you are a heart attack survivor.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that that is so important to bring awareness to people, especially men of color, because a lot of men of color may, just have a lot of misconceptions of what that looks like. So hopefully we can bring some more awareness to the fact that it can happen to anyone at any time. So,
Yes, it can.
were there any signs or symptoms that something wasn't normal with you?
Not really. I remember the day it happened. My wife Terry and I were at Best Buy, just walking around, and she was doing, shopping, and I felt like I had indigestion real bad, and we walked around a little bit, and then the indigestion just got worse. So I walked around outside to get some air, and nothing like the book answer of what a heart attack look or feels like. So I went and got some Tums. I took the Tums, a couple of Tums, and it went away. So as we finished shopping and we went back to the truck to take off we were going to go to a movie. And when we left to go to the movie, I felt better, and no pains in the chest, no pain radiating down your left arm, no pain in your jaw, none of that we all understand those are all heart attack symptoms. Had none of those. So we went to the movie. We sit through the whole movie. I ate a big old thing of popcorn and a slushie, all the stuff I wasn't supposed to be eating. And we came home and took a shower, went to bed. And when I woke up the next morning, I was sweaty, felt like I ran a marathon.
Wow.
So I got up that morning and feeling like that, I got right back in the bed. Right? And this was Saturday morning. And then I felt a little better. We ended up going to my grandson's flag football game. We went to go see Bryson play football. We came back. I felt okay. Then that night I went to bed, woke up the next morning, which was Sunday. And again, I was real tired when I got up. So, me being me, I'm like, okay, I'll just rest today. It'll go away. I'll be fine. But I stayed in bed that whole Sunday. I didn't get up to eat, nothing. I stayed in bed the whole time. And after that, Monday morning, I'm going to work. I said, you know what? I'm going to stop by the hospital just on base and get them to check me out. And when I got in there, now you got to realize this is Monday morning. The first, it started on Friday.
So you didn't go to the hospital immediately?
Right. I didn't go to the hospital until Monday morning.
Oh, wow.
And when I went to the hospital on Monday morning, they kept me, and they said, hey, we're going to run these tests. How are you feeling? They put me on the EKG, and they rolled me immediately to the back. And me and my medical background, I know that's not normal. So they rolled me to the back, and when they rolled me to the back, told him, I said, hey, I need to call my wife. So I called my wife and told her that I went to the hospital and they're keeping me. And of course she panicked and she's on her way. And we're sitting there and I'm letting them do all the tests they're doing and they're checking me out. And I got my wife on the phone on speaker while they're checking me out. And one of the doctors just walked in and said, hey, Mr. Williams, I got good news and I got bad news. And I was like, huh? I said, well, give me the bad news so I can look up.
Yeah, I always say, give me the bad news first.
Yeah, he says, well, on Friday when you had that indigestion, you had a heart attack. And I was stunned, and I was like, no, you don't know, not me. I work out, I run, I'm in good health, I don't eat extremely bad, so I think I'm in perfect shape. He said, no sir, you had a heart attack on Friday, and I'm glad you came in on Monday, because what we had to do, it looks like the on the left bottom portion of your heart, that artery is closed.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Yeah. So when he told me that, I was like still in shock. And then by that time, my wife got there, and he told her, and she was in shock. And I think one of the key things is awareness, knowing the signs and symptoms is different for everybody, right? And for us, as a people, it's a silent killer for us.
Yeah.
From what we're raised on, eating, for how our diets are, a lot of us are overweight, a lot of us smoke, a lot of us drink. That just makes it worse. I didn't have any of those types of things. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, and stuff like that. So that kind of helped me. So the diagnosis was that I had a mild heart attack. The left bottom portion of that artery was like 60% closed. So the other artery, they went in and put a stent in my heart. And then once they put the stent in my heart, immediately after the procedure, I felt better. Of course, I was in the hospital for I think 3 days, where they fed me nothing but hospital food. So I went from 224 pounds to 205 pounds in like a week.
Wow.
But what it was, they was feeding me the right food, giving me the right medication. They put me on a heart medication. They put me on blood thinners, and everything started to work out from there.
So how did that diagnosis affect your friends and family? Did you tell them?
Well,
How did they react?
When I told them, it had an effect on everybody. From me to my wife. Believe it or not, my grandson, one of the youngest ones, Bryson, at the time, that's my stick man. And whenever I get sick or something's wrong, I always want to talk to Bryson. And it affected everybody. It affects the way you think, because I'm like, man, if something happens to me, who's going to take my grandson to football practice?
Right.
Who's going to work about, doing those drills with him to get him ready, and it plays with your mind, and it really wakes you up to the fact that you got a lot more life to live, and you got to do it right. But most of all, you got to identify the issues when they come up, and you got to make those life changes so that you can continue life.
That's right.
So to answer your question, it affected everybody.
Yeah. I can imagine. And you mentioned something about affecting your personal perspective. So what about work and your career? What did your perspective about that change, or did that?
Well, believe it or not, the people I work with is like family to me. When they heard and they found out, I got visits from all my soldiers. My leadership came to visit me in the hospital, and everybody was worried. And like all the 25 people that I work with, that work under me, they all decided to go get checked for their hearts. They said, man, if it can happen to Mr. Williams, man, that dude is in shape. We got to get checked. So it kind of brought about awareness for even the people I work with that they need to get checked because it can happen to anybody at any time.
That's right. So, finally, what would be your message to other men and women regarding encouraging them to get regular exams, or what would be your overall message to someone that, especially a person of color that's more susceptible or has a higher fatality rate, or just anyone in general? What would be your message to them?
My message would be plain and simple. Listen to your body.
Yeah.
If you're an athlete and you work out a lot and you wake up one morning and you're super tired and that's out of the normal, take a look at it and check it. When you have symptoms that are outside of your normal activity or that's outside of your normal well-being, whether it be your heart, whether it be your mental well-being or your physical well-being, take that stuff serious. And at the end of the day, all you have is you. And you got to take care of you and your body, because if you can't take care of you and your body, then that leads you down the right path to take care of your family and your loved ones. That's the best advice I can give to anybody. Just pay attention to your body.
Wow, that is the greatest advice. Is there anything else you'd like to say? I mean, you've shared a great story with us, and I hope it does, and I believe it will change someone else's life.
Well, I know that, it is something that we don't really focus on until it happens to us, right? Just be aware and tell your story, because everybody's story is different. When I was going through heart rehab, because I went through a 2-week heart rehab, and I was in there with folks that had open heart surgery, and I felt bad because I'm like, man, I just got a stent put in, but there's other folks in here in my therapy, in my heart training class, that they had open heart surgery, triple bypass, and I learned from being in there with them every day that everybody's different. It affects everybody different, and people have different things. So just be aware, and just don't put off what you can have checked today, tomorrow, or 2 days from now, like I did, because it could well be your last. So just be aware of that.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you for your time today. I appreciate everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me, and I hope this message reaches somebody that can help somebody. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Well, you take care, and we'll talk soon, guys. Take care, and we'll talk soon, guys.
All right. Take
Love
care.
you. Bye-bye. Love you.
Love you too.